Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Hitman 2016. Once again, I am Brandon Carey, and today we'll be doing another elusive target, codename the Blackmailer.
Good afternoon, 47. Your target is Walter Williams, an up-and-coming fashion model with a history of blackmail. He is currently in Paris, participating in the Sanguine fashion show. The target is carrying a memory stick containing information he used to blackmail a former lover. The client asks that you locate and retrieve this memory stick. As a model, the target will be on the catwalk, but he will almost certainly also spend some time amongst the event's guests. This year's Sanguine collection features heavy facial makeup, so mark your target carefully. The clock is ticking. Good luck, 47.
This is a pretty simple elusive target, all things considered. The briefing mentions that you have to pay attention to the facial makeup, and the reason that is the case is because the target has a very unique fashion makeup compared to the other models in the scene. So if you just look for the X on his, or the cross on his face, he's kind of marked for death in a weird way. It's not that hard to find him. He's pretty unique looking even aside from that. So I really had no idea what I was going to get into. I just figured since he's going to be in the fashion show, I'd better start as the stylist and get backstage. But aside from that, I had no real idea what was going to go down in this contract. We also have the added objective of getting the memory stick, but honestly that's not too much of an addition to what we're already doing, because it's on his person. So you just gotta kill him and you'll get the memory stick.
Welcome to Paris, 47. I have confirmed that the target is scheduled for several cycles on the catwalk, so the dressing room is a likely area to acquire him initially. Good hunting.
Isn't it very, very convenient that we started here in the dressing room? And so I'm basically scanning all the male models' faces for the X-shaped face paint, and looky here, there is our target right here in the dressing room, basically right next where we started. This feels like one of those freebie elusive targets where there wasn't actually a lot to do. And you'll see there I just went to the menu to confirm the face paint, and yes, that is indeed our man. Yeah, this elusive target feels like it was deliberately meant to be easier than the other ones that have been coming out recently. Because I did not find that there was much trouble in getting him killed. But of course, at this point, I had no idea what he was going to do, so I was just kind of tailing him to see if I could find some place to isolate him. And he just kind of sits there for a while. Eventually, this man will walk the catwalk. Eventually. And eventually he'll do some mingling with other guests. But, you'll find that I'm a bit more conservative in this run than I have been in the past couple of loose targets, because I got my ass handed to me pretty royally in the other ones. Pretty royally handed to me. So I decided to just to do a bit more scouting than I did in previous targets, and I probably didn't need to. It probably didn't require this much scrutiny, but you know, you can never be too careful when it comes to these loose targets in Hitman. It is kind of weird how the actual main game does kind of encourage that level of experimentation that the elusive targets just don't, because it's you screw something up once and you're done. And there's our target coming back out of the runway. Still not really that open. Still kind of blocked by people, so I can't really get him right now, but I'm still trying to find a good place to isolate him. This target has a really weird routine. The only real trick to this one is that the only real trick here is that the target tends to spend most of his time hanging out in crowded areas. So you gotta find some way to get him in transit to these crowded areas, or to find some way to lure him somewhere that's a bit more quiet. Because right here you'll see, like, there are people everywhere in this room. If I even try to go for him, I might not call the guards in, but the guards will be aware of what I did, which makes this not a great place to do an assassination. Nor is the runway, for obvious reasons. And eventually he'll break from this routine and start socializing with the crowd at the other side of the Paris map in the party. Which again, we'll see in a moment, poses a whole different slew of problems. And what I'm thinking right now is that I wonder if I could get away with knocking this guy out, because I'm pretty sure he's my one obstacle for getting rid of him and his way back into this room. So I wonder if that guy in the runway can be taken out without causing suspicion. That guy right there on the laptop is what I'm talking about. And I don't think now that's a good idea. And I'm kind of glad that I found a better way to go about this, because you knock that guy out, I have no doubt that a ton of people will see you. Tempting as it may be. But yeah, there's no real... See, this is just me confirming that he can see me if I do something illegal here. A good way to test if something can see you is just to pull your gun out, and if you see some markers, you can just put it back and you know this is not a safe place to kill somebody, because someone is watching you right there. So just by putting that gun out and then putting it back, I have confirmed that this is not a safe place to do a murder. It's safer than just going for the murder, because you can always back out by putting the gun back in your holster and no one will be any the wiser. See, like right here, what I'm doing is just seeing if this is a viable place to kill someone. And it might be. And then weird behavior happens that indicates otherwise. You can always tell when something bad is happening, because that's when the NPCs start doing weird shit. I can only assume that reporter lady from the Paris mission saw me pull the gun out, and that's why she dropped her glass and walked away all weird like. Also, if you've noticed, this guy has come in front of many food and drink items.
Maria's hair? Good job.
But he has not consumed any of them. the people who design these loose targets are very, very deliberate in how they avoid poisonable objects. They seem intent to make sure that you can't just poison a drink and have that be the answer to your riddle. And that does kind of suck, because if you play the story missions, you're not really prepared for that, since poison is usually the most obvious way. But it does encourage you to experiment more with the game's AI and the game's NPC routines, and try to find clever ways around this problem. Because otherwise, if that was a viable option, like, every loose target would be find the magical drink of kill this NPC and poison it so that it does, so that the NPC dies. It would be that same answer every time, which is why it's actually probably a better idea for them overall to encourage more experimentation by not making that a solution. Otherwise, everyone would just say, oh, this is the poisonable drink in this level, just do that and the target will die. Instant accident.
Oh, God, no.
And of course, once you start thinking about NPC routines and how they can be manipulated to better suit you, you might soon realize what I did when I did this target, that there's actually a deceptively simple solution to taking care of him. A very, very easy way to get him away from anybody else and just kill him silently. A way that is devoid almost entirely of risk and is almost guaranteed to work every time you do it. Because there is one opportunity you have where this guy is vulnerable to some AI manipulations. And there I see it. The simple solution to this riddle is to get him into the bathroom. But before I do, I have to get rid of this guy, because if I can get rid of him, then the person who will be closest to the bathroom when I throw the coin in here will be my target when he finishes his next cycle. Just a matter of getting him in, silently getting rid of him, and then making it nice and safe for my guest's bathroom adventure. And now, we are ready. Yep. The dressing room is too crowded. This hallway is too crowded. The party is too crowded. And I guess the way the party might be a viable solution, but it's by far infinitely safer to just lure him into the bathroom and kill him there, as opposed to trying your luck with the crowd, with the walk over to the party. That's what I mean by when I say this was a kind of a freebie hit. Because while it seems difficult when you first look at it, if you just spend a second to think about your options, you will realize just how simple this actually is. Yep. That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
Anybody there? Say what?
And there we go. Now, there's a reason I'm doing him real quick, and because I want to verify something, and you can use the game's mechanics to do this. If you drag a target to a body dump and he's not dead, because you can't interact with a dumped body,
The money has been wired to
they
your
don't let you
account.
perform the body dump. So a good way to check to see if you got the right person is to just try to throw him into the closet, and if you can't, then that means you got the right guy. You can just kill him and be done with it. So I was sure because you got the memory stick that was the right man, and because of the face paint, but just to be double 100% sure, you just do that little verification process, and then you're done. And this is probably one of the easiest loser targets I've ever played, to be frank. Easy silent assassin. It just requires a little bit of thought and a little bit of level awareness, and you're good. And there you go. And we will see you next time with Gnarly's Target, codename The Warlord. Take care, guys. Until then.